Hi everybody, this is Chad, the Gaming Dad, here once again with another Fun or Run. This is the review show where we take a quick look at a game and let you know whether or not it is fun or if you should run. The game in question today is RBI Baseball 17 on the Nintendo Switch. The tagline for this game should be, "It's so bare bones you could hang it on your porch for Halloween to scare trick-or-treaters." So, okay, let's take an honest look at this thing, okay? It's the only baseball game that you can get on the Nintendo Switch. Mario hasn't even shown up to play yet. There are some good things about this game. It does have an MLB license, which means you get the correct teams, the logos, the players, the stadiums, a bunch of different uniforms, and it even has a roster update, which is pretty cool. When you turn it on and they have one available to download, it lets you know. You download it, you get the current guys. But one big lacking thing, there is no online play. This game has really simple controls. Each button is a base when you're on defense. When you throw it to first, you press the one button for first, second, third, home. It's pretty simple. And when you're up to bat, there's one button to bunt and one to swing. That's it. You don't have to worry about power or this or that. You just kind of use the stick or the buttons to position your batter, and then when you hit, you either press up or down to try to influence a fly or a ground ball, left or right to push the ball or pull it. That's it. It's really, really simple. In fact, this game, I believe, is trying to be just like its original game, RBI Baseball, back on the NES. Back in the day, I played RBI Baseball on the NES, but I actually played more of Bases Loaded, but they're very similar games, and the way that they play is very similar to the way this current RBI Baseball 17 plays, with easy controls, not a whole lot going on, just a simple old game of baseball. But again, very bare bones. They also advertise this game to be quick, as far as playing quickly. You can get through 9 innings in under 20 minutes, they say. And after playing it for a while, they're pretty much right. As far as modes go, this is, again, the theme of the day, bare bones baseball. You can play an exhibition game. You can play a season. You can choose either the full season, 162 games, 81 games, or a 52-game season. And then you can also set up a postseason. Other than that, there's really nothing else. You can play with 2 players, an exhibition game between 2 players, but once again, bare bones, limited. This game is very limited. You can only play on one Switch. You can't play against another person who has this game on their Switch. You can't play online. All you can do is take 2 controllers on a Nintendo Switch if it's plugged into the dock, or maybe if you're on the go, if you're on a trip or traveling with somebody, you can play this with just the Joy-Cons. So with just one person having each Joy-Con, you can play a 2-player game of this, which is kind of cool, only for very specific circumstances. You're not going to be doing that very much. The other thing that I must mention here about the 2-player is that when you turn the game on, you know, and you have the Switch in handheld mode, say, you have to back out of the game, get into the menu of the Switch, reassign controllers to be a left and a right controller, taking the Joy-Cons off. You got to reset everything in the Switch's actual menu and then jump back into the game for it to now recognize the 2 and go on from there. Really, really convoluted way of setting up some controllers when they could have just had a button or something. So let's go back some more good things. They were trying to emulate sort of a retro 8 or 16-bit game, and this game does that. It does even have some modern versions of old music in it. Really cool stuff that you'll recognize from the old games like Bases Loaded and RBI on the NES.
Right.
It even has that cool thing where the fly balls, when you hit them up in the air, they go woo!
Oops.
Another thing that this game has that the old games didn't have is that in some of the old baseball games, you would notice the same play happening over and over and over again. The ball would always kind of get hit to the same spot. It would bounce off the wall the same way, the same guys would grab it. But this game actually has a pretty good variety of different situations and different ways that the ball will get hit and different spots that it bounces off of, different bounces off of the ground. I've been able to pull off double plays. My guys have had errors. The CPU has had errors and double plays. Things like that are really good in a baseball game. I was really surprised at the variety of things that happen during play. So overall, it's not a terrible game. It's a decent game of baseball, and it actually can be challenging at times, but there are other things that are way too easy, like the computer falling for the changeup almost every time. If you throw the ball, fastball, and then you throw one that basically goes in the dirt, they're going to swing at it every time and get your third strike. So that's pretty much the good stuff about this game. Now we got to get into the bad, and I want to preface this by saying don't blame these bad things on the Switch, because the Switch is capable of so much more. It's just choices that they made when they decided to make this game, okay? And I think some of these choices were actually made to try to make it kind of like the old games, but the thing is it's not back in the 1980s anymore. We are used to a lot more out of our baseball games, and the Switch is capable of a lot more too. So, as far as presentation goes, there's almost zero presentation. There is no replay. You can't initiate a replay manually. There are no replays automatically. There just are no replays at all. No matter what you do, it's just hit, bang, here comes a play, play's over, back to the next batter. That's all you get. The crowd is just made up of a whole bunch of cardboard cutouts. They look terrible. They may as well have just left just blank seats in the crowd, honestly. It's pretty terrible. There is only one camera. I don't want to say that camera controls are an issue because there are none. You can't choose between different cameras. There's one camera. That's it. And the problem with that is that if you're on defense and the ball gets hit into the infield, that's not so bad because you can see that. But if somebody hits a pop fly and it's going to the outfield, you can't see where it's going to go. You can't even see your players. It's all just a mystery, kind of like the old games used to be. And even a routine pop-up that should be an easy out is almost impossible to catch when you have it on manual controls. I needed to enable assisted fielding just to be able to catch the ball and get the out because I couldn't see. I had to let the computer do it for me, and that's absolutely horrible. I don't like that. I don't want to play a game where I have to let the game play it for me. That's bad. Something else that looks absolutely terrible is the players. The players all are built and kind of look like a teenage girl in skinny jeans heading off to the mall. Even the big hitters. Like guys like, I know Big Papi has retired from baseball, but if he was in this game, he would look like if a fastball went by, he'd get blown over by the breeze. I think they have maybe 1 or 2 different player models in this thing, and that's it, and they both look bad. Going back to presentation, the in-game announcer, there are no in-game announcers. The only thing is the PA announcer, the guy in the stadium. He just basically says, strike, ball, you're out, that kind of crap. And it's funny because his voice sounds kind of like what I imagine the fail troll would sound like.
Strike.
There's also hardly any music except for this one little catchy ditty that plays every time before the game and in between innings. However, there is the occasional organ that plays those remade versions of the old songs that I was talking about. But that's it. There's RBI Baseball 17 for you. No more than that. No creative player, no home run derby, no any other mode at all. Just the game. Just the game of baseball, 9 innings, that's it. You can either play exhibition or you pick a season. That's it. Like I said, very, very bare bones. Again, you can play 2-player exhibition, but that's it. Overall, for a game that is on a dedicated video game console, this feels a lot more like a mobile game. Something that you'd have on your phone. Not a full-blown console like the Switch. The other problem with this game is that they are selling it for $30. which is a budget price. We'll give them that. That's half price of what most games go for. But this game gives you even less than half of what other games give you. Let's just take a quick comparison. Currently, the game The Show 17 for the PS4, at GameStop no less, is currently $30 for a new copy of that game. Same at Best Buy. And that game actually might be arguably the best version of video game baseball we have ever had. I mean, heck, even just the retro mode, they have a little retro mode in The Show. Even that mode, all by itself, is better than this. But again, on the Switch, this is your only version of America's pastime. If you like baseball, you want to play it on the Switch, that's the only one you got. So for me, asking $30 I think is a lot for this. It's not a terrible game. It functions. It is functionally a baseball game. And there are a couple things about it that are okay, that aren't so bad. But man, is this game just so lacking in everything except for just the very basics, that I think it really should be priced even more budget than it already is. This thing is an extreme example of a budget title. If you're a hardcore baseball fan and you just have to have baseball on your Switch, then you might have already bought this. I bought it because I really like baseball. I wanted to check it out. I love playing games on the Switch, and it does serve its purpose, but again, it's just so lacking. It's just so disappointing that, man, I really wish there was a little bit more there. Something, please, guys. So till next time, remember, you never outgrow video games. My name is Chad the Gaming Dad. And so for RBI Baseball 17, heck, this thing strikes out without even swinging. I say, run.
Strikeout.
Thanks again for watching. If you liked that video, please press like and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys, so leave your comments and any suggestions down below. Remember, there's tons of other gamers out there just like you and me, and they also know that you never outgrow video games. Feel free to share these videos all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever you use. This channel is for all of us. Let's make sure they know that they are not alone. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.